Now I want to bring in Joe Tacopina, longtime defense attorney, friend of the show, friend of mine, very good at his job. Okay, Joey Tac, here's the deal. I'm going to list off all the things in this case that are the same. Same judge, same courtroom, same defendant, same prosecutors, same evidence, same accusations, same denials. And here are the two things that are different, the jury and maybe the outcome. What are your thoughts about this second round?
My thoughts are that it's a new trial. You have 12 new people who will decide it. But I think, when you have a case like this, where the defense has had the advantage of seeing the prosecution's entire case go through a dry run, if you will, and to also have the prosecution's chief investigator implode and since been fired, I think the advantage goes drastically to the defense at this point. But you are going to have 12 new people listen to this evidence anew. It doesn't matter what 12 other people thought. It's going to matter what these 12 people thought. But based on what I know about the case, and look, I just don't see how you convict beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the standard. Remember, Ashleigh, we all talk about did she do it, did she not do it? It's not she probably did it. It's not it's likely she did it. It's not I'm almost certain she did it. In a criminal case, the standard is proof beyond a reasonable doubt. There is no reason to doubt she did it. You could almost be certain she did it. That's not guilty. Okay? And people have to remember that. And Alan Jackson is very good at what he does. And Alan's a friend of mine, and I know him well. And he's going to make sure that reasonable doubt charge is before that jury and inside of that deliberation room, because that's what this case is going to rise and fall on.
Well, Netflix just released a really good docuseries on her just within the last few weeks, and there's just been so much media. The jury form alone, the questionnaire, was almost a full page of how much do you know about Karen and the media and the case and TikTok and all the rest. And I just wondered, how are you going to find a jury when you have almost precluded every factor of society? Do you have any issue with cops one way or the other? Do you have an issue with drinking and driving? Do you have an issue with domestic violence? Do you have an issue with the media? Do you have an issue with this lady? Do you have an issue with being in a public event? All these things. It's like, how on earth can you find someone that can be fair and impartial and click the right boxes?
Well, you're not going to find someone who knows nothing about this case, especially from that community. If you do, you're finding a liar. But what you want to find is someone who says, yeah, I read the media about this, or I've heard about it. I know cops. I know people who've had experiences with cops. But can I put it all aside and listen to the evidence fairly and objectively, receive the law as the judge gives it to me, and listen to the facts without bias? Can I do that? I can do that. And there are jurors who can do that. There are people who can do that. That's what we do in jury selection. The problem with jury selection in this courtroom and in this state, it's archaic. Ashleigh, it's archaic. The reason why we have 2 jurors so far out of 96 is because it's an archaic system. The defense filed motions for a panel voir dire here. And voir dire is the jury selection process for it, right? It means to speak the truth. So when you get to question jurors, here, this jury system that they do in Massachusetts is you questioning one juror at a time. One juror at a time, not in a panel, where normally the jury box is filled, and you're questioning the jurors, and you're seeing how they interact with each other, and you're letting them speak, sometimes to each other, sometimes answering questions. There's a synergy that you're picking up. That's part of the jury selection process. Here, you're speaking to one juror at a sidebar, out of the presence of everyone else, and you're being allowed to ask 4 or 5 questions as a defense attorney. That is insufficient. It's basically like reading tea leaves, and you just don't know. I know the questionnaire is thorough, but a questionnaire, people could fill out, yes, no, whatever. It's different than when you hear the spoken word, how they speak and how they say things, and you get to follow up with questions. When you're allowed 4 or 5 questions, and it's done at a sidebar in a very sort of artificial setting, it's not really that good.
Let me switch gears and get you to put on another hat for a second, although I very much like the one you're wearing. But the Pam Bondi decision today, the Attorney General suggesting to the DOJ that she would like the DOJ to go after the death penalty for Luigi Mangione, the young, handsome man who is up on charges of executing a healthcare executive on the streets of New York City. First of all, that is a very big deal when you seek the death penalty in a federal murder case. Secondly, Does anybody think that you can find a jury that will all be okay with that, given the unbelievable groundswell of support that he's had?
Well, let's start with the first one. It is a big deal, but this is a new administration. President Trump and Pam Bondi, who I've known for 2 decades, and Pam's a terrific lawyer, and she's going to follow what she believes the law is. And the law allows for there to be a federal death penalty, assuming the administration wants to apply, which clearly they do, when there's murder through the use of a firearm and commission of crimes of violence. And here, there is a crime of violence and commission of firearms use. And here they're saying there was a political bent here. And clearly there was. It was a anti-corporate America, anti-health insurance bent. So you have the ability to seek a federal death penalty. So that's one. They're within their rights, and Pam Bondi certainly has the ability to do it, and it's going to be approved. I have no doubt about that. Will they ever get it is the next question. I think that's and Ashleigh, here's why. Look, it's probably very unlikely. I don't think because he's cute. First of all, I don't think he's cute. But I mean, putting that aside, I don't ever look at a murderer, a cowardly murderer, as cute. Okay, this guy is a murderer. He murdered a guy from behind in cold blood with 2 kids and a wife, basically in the Christmas season, and then ran like a little coward. You're a tough guy. You want to be a hero to the people. Stand there, murder him, and say why you did it. But murdering someone, shooting them from behind in the back, and then running away is not really making someone a hero. But this guy has been hero worshipped by people in a most repulsively unintelligent fashion. Okay, and I think those people, and the sick part of this, Ashleigh, is a lot of these people come from Ivy League schools, and they have this justification. If that's the case, we should go murder CEOs of Pfizer. I mean, why would we hit all the big pharma, CEOs? And this guy's only United Healthcare. There's other insurance companies. I mean, might as well start whacking all the CEOs of corporate America who we disagree with their policies on. I mean, literally, that's what this guy did. That being said, it is not a mass murder. It's not a mass shooting. It's not an act of terrorism.
Right.
It's a horrible crime. It's a horrible crime. But as serious as it is, it doesn't fit the rubric of someone who should be put to death traditionally. Sure. So it's not because he thinks he's cute or he's got curly hair, he wears Dockside shoes or something. I don't think anyone cares about that, because the evidence doesn't come in that he murdered an innocent man with 2 children and a wife. So I think I'm going to put on
the defense attorney hat for a second, and I'm going to say, you make an amazing argument, but here I go. But he is innocent until proven guilty, of course, and he will get his day in court. And you, my friend, have to come back and talk to me again, because I love our conversations, Joey Tack. Thank you for this.